A person has to come with trepidation and seriousness when he comes to say the bracha on the food. You gotta say the brachot properly when you bless on the food. He says you have to say letter by letter, teva v'teva, word by word. You have to be careful with how you say the blessing, the words. Baruch ata amonai, not buchta. Okay, don't rush and say buchta. It's baruch ata, and you have to say a blessing in general. The Gemara Masechet Brachot says, whoever eats without blessing, benefiting from this world without blessing, he is stealing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem la Hashem ha'aretz u'mlo'ah. To Hashem belongs the whole world, and without asking for permission, you're stealing. And also, you have to be grateful, right? There was a lady who saw one of her grandchildren about to eat a piece of cake without bracha. She said to him, "Hey, you understand why I have to bless? Why is it so important to bless? What's the problem?" She said, "You know how this cake got here? Tell me how this cake got here." First, there was a farmer who took some seeds, put it in the ground. He plowed the ground, put it in the ground. He watered it. He watched it. He made sure nothing happened to it, and then it finally grew. Till it grew, and then he cut it. And then they sent it off to people who process it. They ground up they first separated the wheat from the shells. And then they ground it up into flour. Then they packaged into flour. Then a whole other factory packaged into flour bags. Sold it to a supermarket chain. Supermarket chain finally put it on their shelves. They did marketing. They had a location. They paid rent. Then finally a Jew came looking for flour. Then they bought the flour. They took it home. The wife put the flour in the mixer for the recipe for the cake. She finally made the cake. Put it in the oven. Baked it. After all this, the cake is in front of you. And after all this, you're not going to be grateful and appreciate how many steps there was and say thank you to Hashem that He brought this food to you. How can you not make a bracha? He was floored. So therefore, a person is to be thankful to Hashem, be grateful for what he has. The biggest sign you are grateful is you give thanks to Hashem by making a bracha. And if you do not say the blessing properly, the person has to make sure the kaddish also, not to say yitkadal, it's yitgadal. Actually, Baruch Hu should be great, not yitkadal. Imagine you say Hashem is great. I love Hashem. Hashem is great. What is great? Hashem is great. Not yitkadal, it's yitgadal. So therefore, you have to also say one bracha. Baruch ata, not buchta, right? Amonai, Elokeinu, Melech haolam. Some people you hear, buchta melech haolam. Where are all the words? You swallowed it. Imagine how you pay your painter, right? Painter charged you $10,000 to paint your house. So how you pay in cash? What did you do? You counted 1, 2, here, 10,000. What? How did you count to 10,000? Show me again. 1, 2, 10,000. One by one. I want to see all the money. Maybe you skipped. That's how a person has to say his brachot. He has to count each letter word by word, and if not, he says what happens. Chas v'shalom et Hashem u'megadef. If you do not say the blessing properly, God forbid, instead of blessing Hashem, you're cursing Hashem. Imagine you tell your father, Abba, what? What? What did you say? What are you saying? You're making a joke out of me? You called me all the way to your room. You told me you have something serious to say, and you told me, well, what's going on? Say, speak normally. So imagine you go and you say to Hashem, Baruch atah Hashem, Melech Elokeinu Melech haolam. Hashem, I'm calling you, I'm blessing you. Hashem says, okay, I'm solution, I'm listening. What are you doing? Say the words properly. Bless Hashem. Don't curse Hashem.
It's true. Now the kids speaking so fast.
So now, he says, "Tzarich lizaher b'chol habrachot, b'frat b'birkat hane'enin, and birkat hamazon. Birkat hamazon is the oraita." So all these situations, a person has to make sure to have the kavanah, because the Arizal says that what feeds our ruach. Everybody has 5 parts: nefesh, ruach, neshama, haya, yehida. What feeds the ruach, second level of the neshama, is the bracha, the speech involved with the mitzvah. So you have to also make sure that the speech of the mitzvah is proper, not just the act. People machmir on the eating part. You have to machmir on the blessing part. Not borei pri yishkan, rather borei pri